Well guys, I have 4 more reviews left to do in my David Fincher series. I promised you guys that I would review every single David Fincher film leading up to Gone Girl before Gone Girl, and I'm seeing that movie tomorrow night, so I got a lot of work to do tonight. Pretty soon after this review is up, I'm going to have to you guys Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Social Network, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Let's get started with Zodiac. Zodiac, in my opinion, is David Fincher's most underrated film, and it just might actually be my favorite of his. You see, where Seven might just be the best fictional serial killer film ever made, I think Zodiac is the best factual one ever made. This movie is about the real-life Zodiac killings that are still unsolved to this day that took place, that baffled police detectives and newspaper journalists all over the world. It's about the detectives that are trying to solve the case and one newspaper journalist who is absolutely obsessed with it. If you watch the making of documentary of this movie on the Blu-ray, it's astounding the level of detail that David Fincher and the people working on this film went to recreate the crime scenes. The look of the scenes, the way the bodies were situated, the time, the date, the clothing that the victims wore was even recreated. And that's one of the things about Zodiac that makes it so much more interesting to me, because it is a real life event that took place, and the level of detail that they went to recreate these events really makes it even more frightening. See, Seven is a scary movie. You watch that movie and it's disturbing, but it is fiction. When you watch Zodiac and then you do the research, it becomes way more frightening than Seven is, because you understand that these events took place, and it also kind of gets in your head. I can tell you that every time I watch Zodiac, I actually become a little bit obsessed with the case. Every time I watch the movie, I go and look up if there's any new findings or any new thoughts on the case. It does that to your brain. Jake Gyllenhaal gives one of his best performances as Robert Graysmith, a cartoonist who becomes obsessed with the case. And through his obsession, myself as a viewer, every time I watch this movie, I want to go look up stuff about this movie. It gets into your head. This is a very long movie. It's almost 3 hours long, and yet it is perfectly crafted and constructed to the point where this movie never drags for me. Not once. There isn't a scene in this movie or a section of this film that I think is slow. And a lot of that is due to the magnificent editing. This is one of the best edited films you can watch. Particularly look for a scene in which Robert Downey Jr. is reading one of the Zodiac letters while lighting a cigarette, while it's intercut with other events that are taking place. It's mesmerizing. Also, David Fincher purposefully had the actors read a lot of their dialogue faster than they normally would have, so that the runtime didn't get stretched too long. This guy is smart. This guy is a filmmaking genius, and this is one of his best films in my opinion. Mark Ruffalo plays a detective who is trying to solve this case, and he is also becoming obsessed, as well as Robert Downey Jr., who is a news reporter who is also trying to solve the case. And one of the things that Zodiac as a film does so well is portray the intense obsession and the desire to try to find out more information and to solve this case, and what it did to affect so many different people, from Mark Ruffalo's detective, Jake Gyllenhaal's cartoonist, and Robert Downey Jr.'s news reporter. All 3 of these guys are absolutely knee-deep in this case, and once they start to drown in it, you really start to see how this case had such an effect on so many different people. Zodiac is a perfectly constructed movie. I think it's one of the best directed movies ever made. I think it's David Fincher's most underrated film by far. It is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I gotta give Zodiac an A+. Guys, if you have not checked out this disturbing retelling of real-life accounts, you have got to check out Zodiac. It is one of my favorite movies, and I think it's one of David Fincher's best, if not his best. So I'm going to be bringing my review for Curious Case of Benjamin Button your guys' way very soon. Look forward to that. It's going to be up in just a couple hours. I hope you guys check that out. And as always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.